Jesse, we need to brew potions, Jesse.
We have to cook.
We need to brew potions of speed, Jesse.
That was my, if you can tell, that was my Heisenberg impression. So, I just got my first world record. It's in a pretty unique category. There's not many other speedrunners in it yet. In fact, I did send a message to the leaderboards asking them to make it a category, but I didn't receive a response. So, I'm uploading it to YouTube so you guys can see. Yeah, so this is an FSG seed, so that means it's kind of guaranteed to have like sort of good enough things near spawn, but that's basically all I knew about it. So I guess this is part of the set seed category for what I'm calling the Walter White speedrun. Basically, the aim of this is to get potions of speed, and then, you know, obviously the implication, and then deal those potions of speed to a villager. So I probably spent about a day doing runs on this, and this was just a really good seed, obviously FSG seed. So you can see we're just starting off. We got a shipwreck, and then in the distance you can see there's a village, and on the right there, I didn't catch it just yet, but you can see a ruined portal, and that's what really makes this run. So just getting some wood so far. My technical skills aren't the greatest, but we're learning. You can see they're stumbling a bit. I'm just making my way. You see, I just noticed the portal there, so making my way over to the portal, checking it out. This one was actually a really good portal, as you'll see, because there's actually only one obby missing, and there's a whole ton of iron and gold, and we've even got a 2 flint, so we got our flint and steel. Now I see here I place 2 gravel, and then I go and place some oak planks, because I'm hoping that the portal's completed underneath the lava. So I'm just trying to get rid of the lava. Fully crafting up this iron, the steel, whatever. And now I decide to craft up the iron to make a iron axe, because I'm going to need this later for when we get into the nether. It'll come in handy, and we'll see. It does come in a clutch later on. And then I make a mistake here and accidentally craft a bucket, which I didn't need. I was just kind of used to having to build portals, and then you see me realize that I'm like, oh shit, just wasted 3. And then we're actually not going to go in yet. We're going to make our way over to the village. Now, this is probably a time loss. You probably don't need this if you're a better speedrunner, but I needed some food, and I wanted some more iron as well, so I could get a pick. In case I had to traverse around the nether, which actually did work out pretty well. So I'm just getting some wheat here, doing the usual, looking around, seeing. I'm looking to see if there's I don't know what it's called. Is it an apothecary? Which in villages sometimes you can spawn with a brewing stand and a villager with a brewing stand, but I don't see it off the bat. So that's fine. It just means we need to get an extra blaze rod. Taking out the iron golem. I don't know what this flicking thing is. I see people doing it, so I just copy them. I'm sure there's some actual reason for doing it. And we check, and we actually get 5 iron, which is really good. We can use that for crafting. We're not going to craft here. We're going to craft. We left our crafting bench way back at the portal, getting some extra bread. Now you can see me sort of looking around here, because there's a couple of things we need before we actually that would be good to get before we go into the nether, and then luckily I spotted both of the things we need, which is sugarcane and sand. Obviously we need sand for water bottles, and we need sugarcane, because sugarcane makes sugar, and sugar is how you craft a speed potion, which will be our Breaking Bad concoction for this speed run. So we're crafting up some wheat before we go in, making some bread. Not the fastest crafting. I decided to make a pickaxe, which is comes in really handy, and then I think I also decided to make a shield, which will be good. I just like using shields for blaze. I feel like it makes it easier. Going in here, we actually managed to hit the bread skip, so we skip the animation of the bread, but I still get the saturation, still get the hunger bars filled from it. Now we kind of spawn up in the ceiling, so I'm like looking around, and another thing is you can hear 1, 2, 3 or 4 ghast, and so I'm kind of like, okay, this isn't good. So I'm really trying to look to get down onto that floor, because I saw the floor there. I turned down my render distance so the ghasts, hopefully they are not active. I can still hear one, obviously. I don't know. I've seen some speedrunners do it where you turn down your render distance and it like despawns a ghast or something. I thought it might help, but no dice on this one. So we mine down here, and I'm just kind of guessing. I turn up my render distance again, and I can see now. If I had kept a hay bale, I could have placed it here and sort of stopped that damage. But here you can see we kind of just fall into bedlam. There's 3 separate ghasts. And I'm thinking I need gunpowder to make splash potions. So I'm going to try and take out some of these ghasts, and I get one of them. And I'm going, okay, should I go over and try and see if he dropped gunpowder? But I decide against it because I've still got 2 other ghasts shooting at me. Now I spend a while. This is a big time loss. I think this is probably the worst part of the run. Actually no, there's a part coming up that's even worse, and I nearly die. But then a piglin comes at me, and I'm just like, nah, let's get out of here. Let's get out of here. It's just absolute insanity on all fronts. It just makes this run, I think, even better. So now I see the fortress down there, and I'm just trying to work my way down to it, because there's 2 things we need from the fortress. We need netherwort, and we need blaze rods. I was just kind of guessing, and luckily it turned out like it was correct. I only needed 2 blaze rods, and I only went for 2 blaze rods because that's all I needed. But luckily we drop in here and netherwort straight away. Now at this point I was just kind of, I'd had a bunch of just terrible runs. I hadn't gotten this far many times, so I was like, let's just get a bunch of netherwort. Definitely didn't need that much. And the soul sand, I don't know why I was going for that. But then we see a blaze. Okay, so that's 1 out of 2 blazes if they both drop, and I kill this one, and luckily it does drop, and then I end up dropping my axe. I don't know why I do that. So we build back up, and we run back because I'm playing a bit safe here. Obviously I took the time to get bread, and I don't want to die, and I will nearly die soon. And then we get our second blaze rod, and so we're like, okay, freaking out, this is good. Now I get a bit lost here trying to navigate out of the nether, out of the fortress, and then I find the hole that I came back through, and I build back up. And then this is the part where things get a bit sketchy, because I know there's like 2-3 ghast back up, and I'm gonna have to pillar up to the portal. And so I've had runs where I'm pillaring in the nether and ghast have just shut me down, and it's the most infuriating thing ever. But then look, even worse, like 2 skeletons, so I eat bread. Luckily, they hit the zombie pigman, which is a clutch. The pigmen kill one of the skeletons, or both of them. And then there's a piglin shooting at me as well, and a ghast, so I'm just here kind of freaking out. Luckily, the piglin just kind of runs away, and the ghast is, his aim's off. I know, CSGO aim. So I turn my render distance back up so I can see what I'm doing, and I'm going to try and kill this ghast. So I'm hoping he drops gunpowder. Did I kill him? Nothing. And now I remember that I killed another ghast, so I try and run back to the spot where I killed him, because I know ghast can drop gunpowder and ghast tears. So I'm hoping it's gunpowder, and no. So that's another area for improvement in this run. Trying to get gunpowder quickly. I probably could have looked at a chest in the fortress, or maybe somewhere in the village, or if I've had runs before where I've come across desert temples, and you can get the gunpowder from there. But this was just not in the cards for this run, which is okay. We can still, as you can see, we do find a way to get our gunpowder. So I'm just building back up now. A bit of a time loss, a bit slow, being careful, trying not to fall. We come back up here, and now this is where we get into the sort of the late stage of the run, because we got all the pieces except for the gunpowder. So you see, I go through here. Now I'm looking around. There's one thing I need. I need stone, because I need to craft a furnace. Now I'm pretty sure there's a furnace in the village, so that's another time thing. I could have got the furnace from there, but anyways, we need a furnace, and we also need 3 stone to make the brewing stand. So I get the stone, I get 3 stone for the brewing stand and 8 stone for the furnace, and I come across here and I craft the brewing stand first, which again, if there had been a brewing stand in the village, that would have been a good, and a furnace, that would have been really good for time. So there's lots of improvement for the time. So I'd like to see you guys try the waltuh White speedrun. I think it's a I think it's a pretty good category, and hopefully the speedrun leaderboards will add it. Hopefully they'll respond to me. All right, so I'm just smelting my sand that I collected earlier into glass. I've got nether wart, and then I've got to craft the blaze rod into the blaze powder, and that gives me just enough for all the brewing I'm going to need to do. So I'm just waiting here. Now, this point, you see it's dark, and this is where I'm going to get my creepers, get my gunpowder. Now, again, it takes a while for the creepers to spawn in, so if they had spawned in quicker, that would have been a lot better for the speed run. But, you know, I still think it's a good run. Now, I'm just crafting. First, you have to craft an awkward potion, and then after that brews, you have to put sugar. You have to, so you see here, I've got my sugar cane. I craft that into sugar, and sugar is what makes it into the speed. And then we just need to make a splash potion with the gunpowder. So you see, I put the sugar in there, and now I'm looking around, looking for creepers, because it's night, but none are spawning yet, which is okay. I did see earlier a desert biome, and I think creepers spawn more often than there. So once this speed potions are done, we can head over to the desert biome. But I'm looking around and I don't see anything. There's a skeleton off in the distance, but no dice on the creepers. It's okay. We're at 11:30 right now, so I'm hoping to wrap the speed run up in the next couple minutes or so. Now you see I make my way through here. Now, thinking of places we could have saved time in this run, I think if I had gotten that gold, or if I'd crafted that gold into boots or a hat or something, that would have saved me from the piglins. But, you know, come see, come saw. We still did pretty well. Now, I'm running past the village, and I'm heading back to the desert. I'm looking for creepers. Don't see anything close to the village, which is a shame. So I'm looking around, nothing's spawning in. There's some zombies. I turn on my render distance. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I'm just kind of looking out to see if more stuff will spawn. Spiders, I'm getting kind of mobbed by spiders and zombies and stuff. And then on the left of the screen, I see the creeper. So I turn back down the render distance. It's a little less laggy. I'm only on 60 hertz anyway, so people might think that's laggy even at full frame rate. But whatever. It's not about the tools. It's what you make of them. So we're coming across here. It's funny, you can see here it's only raining on one side of the screen, but I see the creeper. I swap to blocks in my offhand just in case I want to build up, but I just go for the lazy route of running away. I know, I think I learned that from a rec rap video. If you place 2 blocks in front of a creeper and it can't see you, then it actually can't blow up. But I just couldn't be bothered. And then on the way back, there's 2 other creepers, so pain in the ass. But we're looking now, we're just looking for a villager. Checking here, no villager. Check next door, villager, yes. Okay, we don't want an escaping, so we block that up. We place our brewing stand. I accidentally place a netherrack on top of it, and then we put our potion of swiftness in, and we add the gunpowder. And so that's just brewing. Once this is done brewing, the run's over. I destroy the bed so I can actually sell my potion of speed to the villager to complete the waltuh White run. And you see we're on 13:29. Okay, and I craft the potion and I'm done. And that's it, 13:30.936. That is world record time, because admittedly I am the only one to do this run, and I did just invent it today, but I'm still taking that. That is my first Minecraft world record. That was the waltuh White speedrun, so definitely give it a try. Let me know if you can beat my record. Obviously, I think it will be pretty easy. And hopefully this gets added to the leaderboards. So 1.16.1, let me know what you guys think and give it a try. Thanks, guys. Bye.